Imagine waking up to golden light flooding through your window, stepping outside to grab a coffee for less than $1, and spending your afternoon walking along coastline that people fly thousands of miles just to visit for a week. Now imagine that being your ordinary Tuesday. That's the version of Portugal most people see on social media. But what's it actually like to live there? What does it really cost? What are the frustrations nobody talks about? And is it genuinely the right move for you? That's exactly what we're breaking down today, and I'm going to give you the full picture, not just the highlight reel. Stay with me through the whole video because the section at the end about who Portugal is actually a good fit for might change how you're thinking about this entirely. Let's start with the number one question on everyone's mind, which is money. How much does it actually cost to live in Portugal as a single person? The honest answer is that it depends heavily on where you land. Lisbon and Porto, the two major cities, have seen significant price increases over the past several years. If you're looking at renting a one-bedroom apartment in a central Lisbon neighborhood, you're likely looking at somewhere between €1,100 and €1,600 per month. Porto tends to run slightly lower, but not by as much as it used to. Step outside these two cities into smaller towns, coastal villages, or the interior regions like the Alentejo, and the picture changes dramatically. You can find comfortable rentals for €500 to €700 a month, sometimes less. Beyond rent, your monthly food costs are genuinely reasonable. Shopping at local markets, cooking at home, and avoiding tourist-heavy restaurants keeps your grocery bill around €200 to €300 for a single person. Eating out regularly at local Tasca-style restaurants, which are the traditional neighborhood spots, adds to that but not outrageously. A meal at a local place with a drink often runs you €10 to €15. Your utilities, phone, and basic internet typically land around €100 to €150 combined monthly. Public transport in Lisbon and Porto is genuinely good and affordable compared to many Western European cities. Healthcare for residents is accessible through the national health system, though many expats layer on a private health insurance plan for faster access and English-speaking providers, which typically costs between €50 and €100 per month depending on your age and coverage level. When you add it all together, a single person living a comfortable but not extravagant life in a smaller city or town can manage on around €1,500 to €1,800 per month. In Lisbon or Porto, a comfortable lifestyle pushes you toward €2,200 to €2,800. A premium lifestyle in a central urban area, with dining out frequently, travel, and nicer accommodation, starts at €3,000 and goes up from there. Now let's talk about the genuine advantages because there are real ones. The financial benefits in Portugal aren't just about lower costs. Portugal has historically offered a tax incentive program called the non-habitual resident regime, which has given qualifying new residents significant tax advantages on foreign-sourced income. The specific terms of this program have evolved over recent years, so you'll want to verify the current status with a qualified tax professional before making any plans around it. But it has been a significant draw for financially motivated movers. Beyond that, the general cost of living compared to Western Europe, the United States, Canada, or the UK gives your money considerably more purchasing power here. The climate is not just a lifestyle bonus, it's a practical one. Portugal, particularly the Algarve in the south, gets an extraordinary number of sunny days per year. Mild winters mean lower heating bills and a fundamentally different relationship with outdoor living than most Northern European or North American cities can offer. That translates directly into quality of life in ways that are hard to quantify but very easy to feel. Lisbon in particular has become a genuinely world-class city in terms of infrastructure, culture, food scene, and connectivity. High-speed internet is widely available. Public transportation is functional. The airport connects to most major European hubs and beyond. Portugal also ranks well in global healthcare quality assessments. The national system has its limitations, especially for non-urgent care where wait times can be long, but private healthcare is excellent and, importantly, affordable relative to what you'd pay in the United States. A specialist consultation at a private clinic in Lisbon often costs a fraction of what the equivalent visit would run in a major American city. For entrepreneurs and remote workers, Portugal has positioned itself actively as a destination. The startup ecosystem in Lisbon has grown substantially, the expat community is large and networked, and the country hosts major international events like the Web Summit, which signals genuine government and infrastructure investment in tech and business communities. Now for the part people often skip, the real challenges. Lisbon and Porto are no longer cheap. If you've been reading articles from 5 or 6 years ago that describe Portugal as an affordable alternative to Paris or London, understand that the gap has narrowed considerably for those two cities specifically. Rental prices in central Lisbon have increased dramatically, and locals have been vocal about the housing pressure. You're not moving to a hidden bargain destination if you're targeting the major urban centers. Bureaucracy in Portugal is the thing expats talk about most once the honeymoon phase wears off. Getting residency sorted, registering with local authorities, opening a bank account, dealing with government offices. These processes are notoriously slow and document-heavy. Portugal has been working to improve this, but the reputation for administrative delays is grounded in real experience. Many expats hire a local lawyer or relocation agent specifically to navigate this, which is an added cost but often a sanity-saving one. Portuguese is the language of daily life, and while English is fairly widely spoken in major cities and tourist areas, step into government offices, medical appointments, or smaller towns, and you'll feel the gap quickly. The language barrier doesn't make Portugal impossible for non-speakers, but it does create friction that takes genuine time and effort to reduce. Most successful long-term expats eventually pursue at least conversational Portuguese, not just out of courtesy but out of practical necessity. Politically, Portugal is stable and a member of the European Union, which provides a significant layer of institutional reliability. However, economically, the country has navigated challenges in the past, and like all European nations, it faces headwinds from broader global conditions. The housing market strain and inflation pressures that follow the large influx of international residents are ongoing discussions in Portuguese politics, so it's worth staying informed about policy changes that could affect property ownership, rental regulations, or residency frameworks. Let's move into visas and how you actually get to stay there legally long-term. Portugal offers several pathways depending on your situation. If you're from outside the European Union and want to stay longer than the standard tourist allowance, you'll need to apply for a specific visa category. The digital nomad visa, introduced in recent years, is designed for remote workers who earn income from sources outside Portugal and meet a minimum monthly income threshold. It allows for legal residency and can eventually lead to permanent residency after 5 years. The D7 visa, sometimes called the passive income visa, is one of the most popular routes for retirees and people with stable remote income, pensions, or investment returns. It requires demonstrating a minimum level of monthly income, typically tied to the Portuguese minimum wage, and proof that you can financially support yourself without working locally. It's been a go-to for many retirees and financially independent individuals relocating from countries like the United States, the United Kingdom, Canada, and Australia. There's also the option for investors, though Portugal's Golden Visa program, which previously allowed residency through real estate investment, underwent significant changes in 2023, with real estate purchases in most of the country no longer qualifying. Investment in funds, cultural projects, or certain business creation activities remain as pathways, but the specific requirements evolve, so professional legal guidance is essential before committing any funds. The path to permanent residency after 5 years of legal residency is well established, and Portugal is notable for allowing dual citizenship, which makes the eventual naturalization path appealing to many. The challenge is that getting through the initial residency process efficiently requires patience, organized documentation, and often professional assistance. On safety, Portugal is genuinely one of the safest countries in Europe and ranks consistently in the top tier globally on peace indexes. Violent crime is low. Petty theft and pickpocketing do occur in tourist-heavy areas of Lisbon and Porto, as in any major city with high visitor traffic, so basic urban awareness applies, but the general environment is calm and low threat. The political environment is stable, democratic institutions function reliably, and the country has no significant internal conflict or instability concerns. For families, the combination of safe streets, good schools both local and international, and outdoor lifestyle options is a genuine draw. Healthcare reliability is solid, particularly if you have private coverage. Emergency care through the national system is accessible, and private hospitals and clinics in major cities are well equipped and staffed with professionals who frequently speak English. If this breakdown is helping you figure out whether Portugal is actually aligned with what you're looking for, do me a favor and like the video. And if you want to follow the full series of country guides we're building out, subscribe now so you don't miss the next one. So who is Portugal genuinely a good fit for? Remote workers earning in stronger currencies, particularly US dollars, British pounds, or Swiss francs, have a significant advantage because their income stretches meaningfully further than local wages. If you're working remotely for a company abroad or running an online business, the combination of high quality of life, a large English-speaking expat community, good connectivity, and reasonable living costs outside major urban centers creates a strong case. Retirees with pension income or stable investment returns have found Portugal to be one of the most consistently appealing destinations in Europe. The climate, healthcare access, safety, and cultural richness combine in a way that suits people looking to enjoy their retirement years without the financial stress of high-cost Western countries. Families will find Portugal welcoming, safe, and well-suited to a balanced lifestyle, though international school costs should be factored into the budget if local schooling isn't the preference. Entrepreneurs and professionals plugged into the European or global tech ecosystem have found Lisbon in particular to be a vibrant base with growing networking opportunities. Budget-focused movers need to be strategic. Choosing Lisbon or Porto as your base and expecting a budget lifestyle is increasingly unrealistic. But move inland. Look at cities like Braga, Évora, or smaller coastal towns outside the main tourism hubs, and the financial proposition improves significantly. Who might struggle? People with very limited income who also want to live in prime urban areas. People who need fast, seamless bureaucracy. Those who aren't willing to make any effort with the language over time. And anyone who romanticizes the lifestyle without pressure testing the practical realities. The right call on Portugal depends entirely on your income source, your lifestyle expectations, and whether you're willing to navigate the administrative friction that comes with establishing yourself there. For the right person, and there are genuinely a lot of right people for this country, it's one of the most rewarding places in the world to build your life abroad. If you're seriously considering making Portugal your next home, or if you're still comparing it against other destinations, like this video so we know this kind of detail breakdown is useful to you, and subscribe so you get the next country guide the moment it drops. We're going deep on every major expat destination, and you don't want to be making this decision without the full picture.